Welcome to the ExpandHer podcast with myself, Sarah-Louise Sutton. I am an intuitive energy healer, channel, Reiki teacher, coach, and mentor, and founder of the Inspirit School of Energy, here to help you on your spiritual journey, to up-level your vibration, to activate your soul and purpose, and ultimately elevate your life and business. It is my intention that through myself and special guests, talking about all things intuition, guidance, channeling, manifesting, healing, and energetics, that you get expanded, you feel inspired, and you receive a giant hug for your soul. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and it is from my heart to yours that I am sending you so much love. Welcome back to the ExpandHer podcast. I am very aware it's been a bit longer than normal in between episodes. I'm now in the UK, and basically I got back to the UK and got very inspired to create other things. And so, just a few extra weeks in between episodes was the consequence of that, which is okay. But what it does mean is that I have a couple of very cool, exciting things available. The first being a completely free energy healing, I'm going to call it like a journey, an experience, a meditation. It's kind of like a energy healing transmission that you can watch, and you can receive the energy healing alongside a visual meditation. And this is just essentially like a meditation but on steroids because there's the energy healing aspect of it coming through. And I'm so excited to be sharing this one, but also this isn't the only one I'm going to be doing. And so this one specifically was about embodying your most confident and authentic self, which is perfect for Leo season, but also any time of the year. I think we always need this. But I will be also recording other ones that are slightly different, like intentions and different themes. And so I'm very, very excited about this. So that's one thing that is now available. I will put the link to this in the show notes. Like I said, it's completely free, even it's 30 minutes long, and it is literally like a meditation on steroids. And honestly, the feedback from it has been bringing me so much joy, and I just know so deeply that this is very, very aligned for me. Otherwise, it wouldn't be getting so much love. So we love that. And then the other thing that I have created is, again, a energy healing kind of similar experience, but this is all about cord cutting and clearing your energy field. And it's in a workshop style. So it's not just kind of the energy healing. I'm also talking about energy tools for you to start implementing with your energy, like protecting and cleansing practices. I go through some exercises with you, and then it's the cord cutting and the energy clearing, energy healing and visual kind of journey and meditation. And so I will put the link to that workshop in the show notes as well. So I have been busy. That is what I've been doing, instead of recording a new episode on my podcast. But, you know, I've said this before, like this happens when you change your environment. Like I've said before, whenever you feel stuck, whenever you feel stagnant, like even just going to a new cafe or going into a new kind of space or being around people you're not around normally, it's just so good for bringing such a fresh energy into you, and to help you kind of tap into a new and fresh energy. Like you literally are the product of the environment that you are in on an energetic level. And so whenever I move country or go to a new place, which happens quite a lot with the lifestyle that I live, it's like I just get injected with new energy, and I get very, very inspired and creative, which I honestly love, being in that energy. So if you are feeling stuck and stagnant, I'm just reminding you, going to a new energy or environment. It doesn't have to be a new country, just to confirm, but just to kind of being around different people in a different place, in a different space, going a different way to work. Like little things like that can all instantly freshen up your energy. So yes, I'm obsessed with that. And I am also very excited to share in this podcast about a topic that's been coming up a lot in my sessions recently. And I was like, oh my God, yes, this is exactly what I need to speak about, because as always, I feel like this always happens. This is always the inspiration for my podcast episodes, is there's always a theme in my sessions at any one time. And sometimes I can get it, I can feel it collectively as well, which I also feel is the case here, which is why I want to talk about it. And this is all about surrender, but not kind of surrender that I think we always associate with surrender, as in just kind of like deeply trusting it will all be okay, it will all work out, which is great, by the way. We also love that style of surrender. But this actually feels like it's on a much bigger scale, like on a life scale. So it's not about surrendering just to one thing in your life happening. Like, okay, there's something you want to manifest, you've got to surrender. It's not kind of there. It's kind of like surrendering up everything. The message that's been coming through a lot for my clients from their spirit guides has been along the lines of them wanting this person to just really kind of open up to being like a vessel for just life to just move through them. Everything in life just to move through them. It's kind of like this energy of just really going with whatever is happening without kind of attaching to things, without having expectations of things, without needing things to turn out a certain way, or like really clinging to things happening a certain way, or certain things happening in a really specific time frame. It's like becoming this vessel for just life to be moving through you, and you being like a vessel to it. This is the energy that has been coming through a lot in sessions, and I can feel so deeply the frequency of it. And whenever I could really tune into this on like an energy level, it's almost like, the one version is this tightly contracted energy. It's like, I want everything that I want. I want it to happen as I want it. I want it to go like this in this time frame. I don't want anything else to get in the way. I don't want anything else to happen. I want it to go exactly like this, step by step. I want it to look like this. I want it to feel like this. And it's a really tight, contracted, clingy, attached kind of energy. And I think this is how, most people live. Like, this is how we're conditioned to live. Even in the personal development world, there's still an aspect of this of like, what is it that you want? What goal is it that you want? What are you aiming for? What does that look like? What does that feel like? And go get it. Force yourself to it. Hustle your way to it. Don't give up on that dream. Don't give up on what you want. Keep it in your vision. It's very much this energy, even though it's a different, it's still a better energy having it this way versus thinking that you have no control over your life. Like, this is obviously a great way of living life. But it's like there's this other way that's not forcing, that's not pushing, that's not like clinging to things and having attachments to things, and ultimately like moving through life with the mind, right? With the ego, with the mind, with getting upset, getting hurt, getting reactive, getting dysregulated even when things aren't happening the way that you want them to happen. On the other side of this, the other energy that I can feel is this really open and expansive energy where it's like, yeah, there might be something that you are working towards it's not about giving up. It's not about not doing anything. So it's not about kind of, just laying there and not doing anything at all. It's definitely not that. But it's this energy of just like letting life move through you as life wants to move through you. Like, if things don't go the way you wanted them to, it's because there's a bigger plan happening. And although there's a lot of nuances to that of, everything's happening for you, that isn't quite as simple as it sounds. Like, we are creating our reality with our energy and with our thoughts, with our actions. Like, we are the ones creating our reality. However, like, when we can just be open to fully experiencing life as it is, as it wants us to experience it. Like the highs, the lows, the in-betweens, the things that you didn't really want to happen but have happened, the things that you didn't expect, like the things not happening that you did expect. When you can just allow these things to move through you, let yourself feeling them. It's not about, pretending everything's great. If something's happening and it feels bad, like just feeling that, but letting yourself just experience it as an experience, like just letting life move through you. Instead of like this clinging and attached energy to things and almost like this inner dialogue and inner like commentary almost of, why did that happen? Why isn't this happening? Like that kind of constant opinion on everything in life. And it's just so freeing to let that go. And, even when there's been hard things happen, and just using myself as an example, when hard things have happened and experiences are happening that are just really actually hard and hurtful, there is a way of processing that in this way, where it's like you accept it instead of like rejecting it or resisting it, which is what we do with this clinging to things. It's like when something happens that we don't want, we then start to like resist it because we don't want it. And this just contracts our energy field so much. Versus just accepting things, which just instantly opens up our energy. And so although we can work with this surrender when we're in a great place, things are happening for us, it's obviously a lot easier to do in that instance. It's actually when things aren't going to plan that we need this surrender. When we need to be in this energy of like, it is what it is, I accept it. Like, I accept this situation. I allow it to move through me. This is what I've been given at this moment in time. If it's something painful, you get to feel that. If it's something exciting, you get to feel that. If it's something that's just kind of like neither here or there, you still get to just feel that. Like, it's fully accepting everything that happens, fully being okay with things that are going on in your life, instead of this energy of, like I said, resisting it, wanting something else, wanting something different. Like this constant mental chatter and talk of what we're kind of doing to ourselves when things don't go to plan is just making us feel so much worse. And honestly, I just feel this is where peace is, like that thing that we all kind of want. This is where it is. Like when you're just accepting everything and surrendering deeply to everything that happens, this is where like peace is felt, because you're not judging things anymore. You're not like analyzing everything. You're just like, okay, okay, this is what I've got right now. Okay. Like, and it's just so freeing and so opening for your energy field. And as soon as your energy field is open, not only are you going to feel better, emotionally speaking, like I said, this is like where you feel peace. But like not only will you feel better, but you're going to start to become so much more magnetic to really great things coming your way. Because I think I've said this before, maybe it was on Instagram, I don't know, but you can't be contracted and closed energetically about one thing in your life but open with something else. Your energy field is either open or it's closed. So if you are in full resistance to, let's say for example, you've got a job right now that you're not loving and it's not that enjoyable, and there's something that you know you want to be doing instead, it's very easy to get into a place of like hating on that job and resisting what you're doing. Like, I've been there, I totally feel it. And this is a great example. So like, if you're closed and resisting that, your energy field is not open for better things coming. Your energy field is not open for synchronicities and opportunities that are actually going to help you get out of that situation, because your energy field is closed because you're resisting it. Whereas if you were in this energy of like, you know what? This is not ideal. Just gonna say it. It's not ideal, but it's what I've got right now. And I'm just going to accept this. This is my life. And that really open, freeing energy that goes with that, then your energy field is open and you're so much more magnetic to get more opportunities and synchronicities and miracles happening that help you get to actually what you want. Like, you cannot be closed to now and open for more at the same time. If you want more, you have to be open now. And it's such a shift in your energy. And this is what our guides ultimately want us to be embodying. Like, it's not about not having a vision. You can have a vision, you can have a goal even, but it's more just how attached you are to that and to each step and what each step looks like to that. And how you react to things that aren't really on your plan. And how you react to things that don't go your way. Like, this is what creates the state of surrender. Like, so you can still have a vision, but just remain open to it looking any way. There's a saying that I love that is like a great example of how to have a vision and stay surrendered. And the statement is like, I want this, or I would love this, or something even greater. As soon as you say those words of like, I would love this, like this sort of business would be my dream. But if there's something better for me, if there's something even greater than me, universe, I would love that. This is how you keep your energy open. It's not being attached to things and like stuck on certain things or things going a certain way, things always looking a certain way. And if they don't look that way, you instantly start resisting it. Like, that's not how you're going to attract in what you want. And the truth is, a lot of the times we don't even know what we want. Like, when we make these visions, when we make these goals, a lot of the time, you know, and I'm not going to say ego in a bad way, it's coming from ego. It's not coming from your soul, like your deep soul alignment. A lot of the times, you know, you want to go on to this place on holiday because you just saw someone else go there and it looked great. Right? This is a great example. Or like, you see someone online with a certain type of business and a certain type of marketing plan and you're like, okay, that's what I want. It's not coming from ego in a bad way, but it's coming from the mind. Maybe that's a better way of saying it versus ego. Like, it's coming from the mind of what you think you want. And a lot of the time we don't know what we actually want or like what's going to fulfill us the most. But your soul, source, the universe, your spirit guides, whatever you want to call it, that's the most intelligent energy that we can listen to, not our mind. Like, that is where our truth is. And so, you know, even though you might have a vision and a goal of what you think you want, it's always going to be what you think you want. And sometimes that might be what's truly aligned with you. There's no doubt about that. But also it might not be. And so why wouldn't you want to actually be on the path that's even better for you? Like, if there was one path that you planned out and you thought this was what you wanted, but then someone said to you, okay, this is door A, there's also door B, and this is actually even more aligned for you. this is truly where your soul wants to go. It doesn't look like door A, but it's literally going to fulfill you on a level you never knew was possible. You would obviously pick door B, right? Like, I think most people would. I definitely would. And like, this is what you're doing by remaining so open to what is happening and to what you think you want. Like, you're saying, okay, do you know what? I trust that actually there might be an even better path for me. There might be a better way of me doing this whole thing called life. There might be a better business for me. There might be a better place for me to visit. There might be a better country for me to live. I just want the most aligned thing for me. So I'm going to just hand it over. I'm going to trust that I am supported. I am looked after. I'm going to listen to the signs, the synchronicities, the guidance that comes through, because I want that path. I want to be in the most aligned place for me possible. That's what I want. And if it's not what I think that looks like, that's okay, because I just want like what my soul wants. That's what I want. And that's the energy that our guides want us to really step into, is just like, hand it over. I hand it over, like what I think I want, what I think I need, how I think it should look. I hand it over because, like I said, we don't really know what we want. Like, the only way our mind works is by looking at what we've had, what other people have, what we've known, what's been in the past, what we've seen, what we've read, what we've heard. Our mind can't come up with new ideas. Like that's from like inspiration and source, like true inspiration and creativity comes from source. And that's what we want to start tapping into. But if you're resisting where you are, if you're resisting what's happening, if you're resisting the curveballs that you get sent, the divine intervention that you get sent, if you are resisting how it looks right now, you're not open for that. If you're tightly contracted and resisting even, and if you're attached, you're not open for the better route for you. You're not open for things just to sort themselves out for you. You're not open for the opportunities that are actually so aligned that are going to bring you more joy and more fulfillment than what you thought you wanted, or what you thought you wanted would give you. Like, and that's the trust here, is trusting that you are supported to be the most fulfilled version of yourself. Like, why would you not be? Why would your soul not be leading you to the most satisfaction, abundance, fulfillment, and purpose? Of course your soul is guiding you there. Like, of course it is. It's trying to. Like, without a shadow of a doubt, why would it be any other way? And so, like, our job is to let that happen, remaining open to everything that's happening now, everything that's going to happen, everything that you think you want, just remaining so open to life moving through you. And it's such a different frequency, and it's such a different energy signature. And it just gives me goosebumps all the time thinking about it. Like, because it's truly what our highest is. Like, our highest isn't attached, right? Our highest isn't clinging to things and getting annoyed when things don't go the right way or what you thought you wanted. Like, that's not our highest. Our highest is so open to everything happening. And our highest knows, and this is really important part of surrender and trust, and probably deserves its own podcast episode, but our highest knows so deeply that no matter what happens outside of you, outside of it, you will always be okay. True surrender is not, I trust that this is going to happen exactly how I wanted it. That's not surrender, right? So if you're manifesting something and you know you need to surrender, it's not about, I trust that I'm going to call in this partner exactly as I want it. I trust it's happening. I trust it's happening without me doing anything. That's not surrender. Surrender is saying, and this is your highest here, surrender is saying, I trust that if that is the most aligned thing for me, that will happen. If not, it will be something greater, and I will always be okay, no matter what happens. Like, that's trust. Trust is knowing that no matter what happens, whether it's what you wanted, whether it's not what you wanted, you will be okay. That's deep, deep surrender. Like, and I think that this is something that and I know I did for a long time, kind of got not necessarily confused about, but I got, I guess, like led wrong with, is when I was trying to manifest something, I would surrender to that happening, in the sense of, I'm surrendered that this is going to happen. I trust it's going to happen. That's not surrender. Surrender is like, I trust it will happen, or it will be something even better, but ultimately I know that I'm going to be okay no matter what. Like, I have deep trust. I will always be okay. I trust that I am looked after and supported on a level of just deep trust. And maybe you just trust you'll be okay because you know yourself. You believe in yourself to always be able to work things out or to just get through things. Maybe that's trust in a higher power. Whatever that looks like for you, that's okay. It can go either way. But as long as you're trusting that you'll be okay no matter what happens, not putting your trust into something outside of you happening, like the right partner coming, the money coming, the business happening exactly as you want it. Like, that's still putting pressure on something outside of you, making you okay. And that's not surrender. Surrender is saying, I'll be okay no matter what. And this is what our guides want us to step into, is this just energy of just complete openness and faith and trust and surrender. And this is our most magnetic self. And this is our highest self. And honestly, this is what feels the best. Like, although it's really scary to almost let go on a lot of these levels, this is, like I said before, this is where peace is felt. Like, this is where that level of just contentment is felt. And you're more magnetic for even greater things happening. Like, it's literally a win-win. And like I said, I think most people, given the choice of door A or door B, would choose door B. Like, of course you want what is the absolute best for you. Of course you want what is absolutely meant for you. And it's this energy of being a vessel for just life to move through you. Something's happened that wasn't ideal. Okay, just let it go. Move on to the next thing. Move on to, whatever it is that's being asked of you next. Like, feel the thing if it's actually an emotional thing, for sure. But there's an element of letting things just move through you versus getting attached and clingy and stuck on things. Be a vessel. And I just always have this visual when this message comes through of literally a person and this like huge light, which is kind of like life, just moving through the entire person and flowing out, like flowing in and flowing out. And this is the visual I always get when I get this message for people. And it's just like, be this vessel. Like, no more controlling things, no more trying to plan things in a way of, there's no room for intervention, divine intervention. There's no room for magic. There's no room for miracles. Like, no more of that. No more getting annoyed and resisting right now, because there's nothing you can do to change right now. Like, right now is right now. And it can suck and it can be hard. And there are things that people go through that they shouldn't have to go through. And the only way to actually feel better in those circumstances is to just be like, but this is what is happening. Like, there is a saying of like, you can't change a situation unless you accept the situation. And I think that that is a beautiful way of saying, like, kind of all of what I'm saying now in this podcast episode. Like, you can't get better unless you really accept where you are, because your energy field can't be in both places at once. It can't be open and closed. And so it's just like, be that vessel. Let life move through you. And like I said, it's a win-win. It's a win-win. And I know it's not always possible, and I am definitely not perfect by any means, but it's a practice. It's a lifelong practice. It really is. But I can absolutely assure you and promise you that life feels so much more easeful, so much more peaceful when you embody that. And so much more happens that's for you. And that's where you get taken to places that are like beyond what you could have even imagined, because you're open for things to happen that's actually for you. It's like, there's things now, like my business now, what I do now, I never imagined that this would be what gave me all the fulfillment and satisfaction that it does. I had no part of me that was interested in energy work. No part of me. And so I would have missed out on all of this fulfillment, how good I feel like doing the work that I do, and also the people that I'm helping in the meantime. I'd be missing out on all of that if I was clinging to what I thought I wanted. Like, because you don't know what you want. You know, like, you really don't. And I just feel like this is such a beautiful message to come through, and to be kind of a theme right now. And I think it's just something that we always need to remind ourselves of. Like, even if you've been practicing this and you've been working on this, it's something to constantly remind yourself of, because like I said, it's like, I mean, it's near enough impossible to be like this all the time, because we're emotional beings, we're energetic beings, and we get attached to things. But it is without a doubt how our guides and how spirit wants us to live right now. And you know, the best example of this is the book The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer. He's the author of The Untethered Soul, and The Surrender Experiment is the book that's kind of a biography. Is that the right word? Biography. But done in such a smart way, because it is one of my favorite books. Potentially, okay, no, not my favorite book, but like, it's up there in my top 3 for how not only inspirational it is, but it is like the exact frequency of what everything I've just said here is. Like, the full embodiment of that on such a level that you can tell throughout the book how it plays out and what happens to him. And it's insane. It's insane how it plays out. So I could not recommend that book more, because he is just a pure vessel for everything coming through him. And yeah, honestly, it's such a powerful book. If you have not read it, I could not recommend it more. I'll put a link to it in the show notes, so you don't have to write anything down if you're listening to this. But yeah, I could not recommend that more, honestly. Such a powerful book, and he is truly the embodiment of this energy. So definitely give it a read or a listen if you're an Audible person. So yeah, this is basically what I wanted to share today, because it just feels a very on topic and on theme thing right now in my world and with my clients, and with the collective. And yeah, hopefully this has given you some energy and some inspiration to just really open your energy field up, if it wasn't already, to just the magic of spirit, the magic of your soul, and the magic of life, truly, because this really helps you to feel that. It really, truly does. So yeah, hopefully this has given you something. As always, I would love to hear how this episode landed for you. You can either send me an email or send me a DM. And please, if you know of someone who you think would love this episode, I would be so grateful if you could share this episode. It really helps support this podcast. And like I said at the beginning, there's a few things out now that you can access, one of them being for free, where you can really experience the work that I do and some energy healing alongside a visual meditation. So yeah, head to the show notes for those. I will put the links in there. And yes, thank you so much for being here. As always, honestly, I'm very, very grateful for you. And yeah, hope to have you back here very, very soon. And as always, from the bottom of my heart, I'm sending you so much love.